Hello and welcome to another episode of the News DCU Daily. We're gonna get into it, of course. I am, of course, Daniel. It's been a while. I feel like if you might have missed me. If you missed me, well then hello, I'm back. If you didn't, then I don't know what to tell you. That's on you. But with that in mind, of course, we've got some DC stuff to talk about today. It's a slower news day on the DC front, but we do have to get into, what is James Gunn working on next in terms of like a movie or a TV show that he might be directing. There's so many different projects in the world of DC that are, up for grabs. I mean, of course, James Gunn is the studio head, so he could reach for any of them. It's really his call, right? Like maybe even he kicks off James Mangold or Andy Muschietti off theirs because they seem to be only half interested. So we'll talk about that. But then we do have a ton of news, of course, the weekend box office. We didn't really get into it a ton yesterday, but I wanted to kind of touch upon it today. A couple of movies, passing through some milestones that we want to talk about. There's news of like Sonic 4. Of course, William Shatner is getting a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Saturn Awards, I think. I'm going to get honored. We're going to talk about that, of course. I'm sure John will give you his best imitation for that.
Yes, I will.
But with that in mind, let's hit that news intro and then we're gonna dive right into it, shall we?
Time to move.
It doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm always the number two.
All right, mister, I need to paint my abs on to get nominated. You don't see Robert Downey doing that.
You're kidding.
Robert
You're
Downey.
kidding. I can't open the envelope without the.
Warner Brothers is heading back into the Matrix with a new movie in the works.
Wonder what other surprises are in store.
I want to be Bruce Wayne.
I like that. You're gonna love me.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see corns.
Right there.
You look ridiculous.
Well, not no more, he don't.
What, dude? I can barely understand you. Your accent's insane.
What the needs now.
Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. Wow.
Well, hello there. I'm of course Dan, and or as Hosea said in the chat, Lieutenant Dan. Well, hello to you, Lieutenant Dan. Maybe John has like a ice cream cone for me. I can go for some ice cream right now.
Honestly, now I kind of want an ice cream, but like it's cold out, so like, and the thing is,
it doesn't matter. You can have ice cream any time of year.
No, I know that's what I'm saying. I don't mind that, but it's just like there's like I remember because like I always get like hankering for Dairy Queen because there's like a small like.
But they're closed, right? Like they're not.
Yeah, because they're closed for the season. Yeah,
it's like Dairy Queen for doing that, and then Rita's. They're like gone until like March. I'm like,
what if like Dairy Queen? Like, come on, what if I want a blizzard during a blizzard? Like, that's not fair. Like, it's called a blizzard. Why are you not open during blizzards? Waffle House doesn't take this shit. There could be a literal nuke about to drop, and Waffle House won't close. That's some bullshit right there. Now I just think, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll grab a pint of Ben and Jerry's. Like I'll live. Yeah. My fat ass will live with that. It's fine. But like maybe I just. But when you got that Oreo blizzard,
you just need your freshly blended Oreos and some creamy ice cream. Like that's all you need. And you throw in some like Oreo bits
in the middle. That was
dude, yeah,
that was good. They still have those, but they don't have one for the Oreo one anymore. And it's such a shame.
Yeah, it's like it's that's one of those questions. Like how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? Right? Like is that how do they put the chocolate in on the inside? I want to know the secret. It's probably just as simple as they fill it up and then they top it off, like whatever. But it's fine. It's one of those life's mysteries, It's like how did they get the jelly in the donut?
Also, Caleb, sorry, we don't have Cornetto over here. We do not. I apologize, but we know Cornetto thanks to Edgar Wright, but we can't buy it over here. Apologies.
Yeah.
So we don't know the blissful, loving nature of a Cornetto cone. Sorry.
By the way, just to look ahead to DCU Daily later, we did I put up a post earlier today saying, hey, we're gonna do a little Q&A tonight. Send us your questions. So if you saw that post in the community tab on YouTube, so if you're watching on Twitter or X or Facebook or Twitch or even TikTok, we were live on TikTok. then you might not have
Yeah,
seen
when
it.
it
But
went
if
down
you're
for 2 hours and then
2 hours,
we
2 hours.
got it immediately
The
back
memes,
again.
man, the memes. If you guys are wrestling fans, you remember when Santino Marella got in the Royal Rumble, got tossed out in a second. That was like a all-time record for the quickest elimination. And he's like, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. It was literally, that's how you can describe the TikTok. Like, people weren't ready to go offline TikTok, and it was like, before you know it, it was back. And everybody, I mean, yes, some people did end up on Instagram in the meantime, but it's like, TikTok's not going to take you back. You betrayed TikTok. Now you have to stay up. But who knows? For all we know, TikTok will be banned again in a few days, depending on how, the winds blow in Washington D.C. But we'll see. But without getting further into the, the politics of social media, all I'm saying is if you are on YouTube, you should have seen a post, or you might have seen a post on the community tab where I said, hey, ask us your questions if it's DC related or anything else, quite frankly. It could be Marvel, Star Wars, it could be Pixar, it could be just general movies, or even if you have questions about how we put the show on, like, what do we do? What software do we use? Like, what lights do we have? What cameras? It's like, it's all that stuff.
Hello, everyone.
Like, where do I get my vest from? This one's from LL Bean, like sometimes I'm wearing Columbia. It's like, that's
Caleb,
sponsored.
I'm surprised you're not banned from like every social network at this point. Like, that's honestly shocking. Also, hi, Lenny.
And Man of Steel Magnolias, of course.
He's too sexy for TikTok to the point he doesn't even spell it right. That's
I'm too sexy for TikTok, too sexy for Facebook. You can make that rhyme. It's definitely, you can do that.
Skibbity Riz guys or whatever. See, I'm too old. Yeah, I'm too old for that shit too. And I'm technically Gen Z, so I'm like on the cusp.
I'm millennial. I'm on like the outer edges of that era generation.
I'm like zillennial. I'm like in between. I'm in the weird bridge of like Gen Z and millennial.
Sounds about right. By the way, if you guys are joining us, then hit that like button. We do appreciate it. It helps the YouTube algorithm gets the stream out in front of more viewers. But as we always do, John, we get the show started with the news. So let's do that, shall we? Because there's quite a bit of news to get into. Some interesting news. Some things that you will probably enjoy. Some things you just can't wait to get past, as per usual. But the big piece of news that I want to start with is just the weekend box office. Of course, it was yesterday. We saw the show. It was Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So MLK Jr. It's a holiday weekend. MLK Day, it counts as a holiday weekend. You get the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and a Monday. So it's a 4-day weekend. And as you can see the box office from the 4-day weekend now. It says that Mufasa and then one of them days apparently mauled Wolfman over what was considered overall a slow weekend. And understandable, is January, so like you don't get as many movies, not as many people are going out to the movies, unlike in the Christmas holiday season or like the summer movie season. But still, Moana 2, we'll get into that a little bit later. Moana 2 cleared $1 billion at the box office now. That makes it the third billion-dollar movie for Disney from last year. So like, I don't think any other studio got even close to that. But hey, Disney, for the win. And it wasn't even considered like, better than the first movie by any means. But hey, of the movies that you see here, one of them days I think is an underrated one. You don't see very many, buddy comedy films where it's like, two African American, two black girls. Just like it's you don't see that. Like, I read a review where they pointed that out, and I wasn't thinking about it this way, because I was thinking about it. Oh, it's Keke Palmer. I love like her in pretty much everything I see. Like, so I'm gonna check it out for that reason. But they were like, you know what? You don't see female-led black comedies very often. And especially ones, that are like in this genre, like, buddy comedy, road trip sort of. The story is really fun. So it's good that the movie's doing well. Of course, the holdovers like Mufasa, I think it crossed 600 million at the box office. You have, other movies like Sonic still playing well. It's become the third Sonic movie has become the highest grossing of the franchise. So, it's clearly that franchise is not going away anytime soon, and we'll get into that later as well. But John, of all the movies that you see here, any surprises to you in terms of what's having success? Are you surprised that Wolfman is not doing well?
No, I mean, it's been getting pretty, I guess you could say, dog shit reviews. And so that's not surprising me. I've heard nothing but bad things about it. I'm still gonna see it. Well, we plan on reviewing it later this week, so that's mainly. And I'm still kind of curious because I'm like, yeah, it looks more like Oomph Man. Even my friend says it's not Wolfman, it's Wolfman, because it's not it barely counts as a Wolfman. He's like it's really a Wendigo. Like that's
Right.
really what it is. It's not really a Wolfman. It's like, okay, then why call it Wolfman kind of thing. But it's also the idea of like, well, we need like a IP to sell this thing that we want to do, but we can't like we don't want to do the actual thing. We want to do something original. We can't do something original because we need IPs to sell shit. So it's a whole, you know, yeah. So it's a whole rigmarole, and that's not. And one of them days, like it has an audience. I'm not that audience. I think it honestly looked kind of cringy and stupid, but like that's just me. But I'm not the target audience for that movie, so I hope this is, the people that watched it liked it. Mufasa still getting beat by Sonic 3, and that's all we care about. Sonic 3 is just a little bit ahead, and that's all we care about. Just try to read it. Well, here's the thing: when it comes to comics, they're not going to adapt the comic just straight up. Usually they take I mean, they're already taking liberties by adding Lobo. Yes, I know Tom King did say he wanted to include Lobo, but then the editor told him no. But it's not going to adapt the comic exactly. So maybe like the idea of the story. Well, some things are going to be changed. It's not going to, like the Keanu Reeves Constantine movie is, it's not exactly like Dangerous Habits. Like it's not that's the basis of it. That's what it's like, that's the basis of the story, but it's not like the exact plot. So they'll probably take a lot of liberties with it to make it work for the big screen, hopefully write it better, because Tom King. But with
Ouch.
Wolfman. But going back to Wolfman, yeah, it's he said he wanted it to be like The Fly, where he was like a guy metamorphosizing into something else, which I don't mind because the concept is amazing. But it seems like Lee Wannell definitely fumbled with it, whether it was the poor script, poor direction. But Lee Wannell is pretty much 2 for 3 now, because Upgrade was fantastic and Invisible Man was great. I don't care what anybody says. I know there are some people that have gone back and be like, "Oh, that movie actually sucks." I think it's good. Like, I don't give a fuck. That's a great movie. I mean, Elizabeth Moss is a little bit of a wet blanket, but like overall, I still think that the movie was really well done and really well made. So I think this might just be like a blip. I think it's just a blip. I think he'll do something better later on. So I think worst comes to worst, if we're talking about Wolfman remix, go back to the Joe Johnston one, because apparently that one is pretty underrated. So go back to that one, or go back to the Lon Chaney Jr. original. So that's all I got to say about that. But I haven't seen it yet, so I can't judge. But I liked it from the concept alone. And I like Christopher Abbott. I think he's a very good, kind of underrated actor.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Yash is like, I'm scared in the chat. Are you talking about like scared of the Wolfman movie? But I don't know. Jose is saying, of course, Yash comes in and makes it about himself. I hope you're okay, Yash. Like, you sound like you're having a rough time. We hope that you're able to come here and get away from whatever's causing you stress in your day to day. We're here to kind of have fun. Let's talk about the movies, like the stuff that we like to enjoy. The magic of movie making, as they say. Lenny's continuing to go at you about your speculation.
Yeah, I never said you were dumb. When did I say that? Go back to the tape. When did I say that? I'm just saying, it's not going to be an exact note for note. So, whatever the speculation is, it's, it's not going to be exact. But
I think, John, you should probably give it a shot before the movie.
I'll eventually read it. It'll probably take a while because I can only stand so much shitty comic book writing.
I literally, John, I will drive to you and give you my copy if you want. Like, if that's what it takes, I will gladly do that.
No, I'm not. I'm fucking pirating that shit. I don't give. I ain't giving him a time of day. I already paid.
John's opinions on that are his own. We do not recommend or encourage piracy in any way, means, or shapes or forms or whatsoever.
Are telling me that is a joke. That was a joke.
Yes, John's lawyers are on it. But in the meantime, I wanted to discuss the Mufasa. I mean, specifically, let's kind of drill down at the box office, right? We mentioned that Mufasa is still doing really well. Now, it's doing so well, John, that it's been at the top of the box office now for like 5 weeks in a row. Like even this week, like it's been like almost 2 months since this movie has been out now, and it barely, but still, it managed to eke out one of them days, which came in second, like not by much,
Oh my
but it
god,
was
a
just
Disney
enough.
project is
I
doing
mean,
that? That's crazy.
no, I mean it's interesting that it's doing that, and not only is it done that for 5 weeks straight, it's now crossed $600 million. A couple of other highlights. I mean, a couple other things that you might appreciate.
Because the people
Wicked.
overseas are losers who don't know what good movies are, so they have to go see this fucking garbage.
Well, fair enough, but like, hey, Wicked has also crossed 700 million. I
Yeah,
mean,
good
and
for
it's
Wicked.
now on track to beat Dune Part 2's 714 because now it's sitting at 709, so it's 5 million
yeah,
away from
I
beating
think Wicked
Dune
is
Part
gonna
2.
slowly but surely get to $1 billion. I think it's gonna get there, just not as quick as something like Deadpool and
Dude, but
Wolverine.
are you sure though? Because it's got a long 300 million is a long ways to go for a movie that's
Here's the
already
thing,
been
though.
out for a
My
month,
parents tried to go see that movie like 2 or 3 times,
and
and
it's
like
still sold
like
out.
it's like they went, I think, a week or 2 ago,
Yeah,
and it was sold out. Like it was like they tried to go a bunch of times, and it was sold out every time. So clearly it's still, people are still going to see. And the thing is, it was on like weird days. It was like like the kids like have gone back to school. It was like on a weekday. It was like during work hours and sold out. Yeah,
it's
exactly.
I
One
I'm
and two
seeing the
was
same
like
thing.
from fucking
Yeah,
garbage from what we've heard, and that's made a fucking billion. People, it's Disney. People don't care. They have no
yeah.
standards anymore.
Well, I mean, look, the fact that Wicked is doing as well as it is a testament to the fact that there are still a lot of people out there who are going to watch and choosing to watch Wicked over everything else, such as Mufasa. Which I mean, look, it's movies are for everybody. You might love Mufasa, the Lion King, and of course that's how it's gotten past 600 million. A movie that most people did not expect to get anywhere close to that. It's still $1 billion away from the Lion King's box office from a few years ago, but 600 million ain't half bad. Now, the other thing, John, I mentioned earlier, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. It's now become the highest grossing Sonic the Hedgehog movie in the three. It's a threequel in the trilogy so far, or in the franchise
Hell
in
yeah.
general. It's brought in 422 million, as it says in the article so far, and that beats out, all the I think it was what 405 that the second one made, and 319 million that the first one made. So it's like the John Wick movies, right? Like where each movie, it's not like each movie's doubling the previous movie's output, but it is slowly trickling up, which bodes well for, they've already announced the Sonic the Hedgehog 4. So we're gonna get into that, I'm sure, later in the show, because we do have some news about that. The other thing I wanted to kind of point out now, talking about Mufasa,
Yeah.
we were all saying how the music sucks, but now like the first song from the movie has hit the charts, and with I think the Billboard's top 10. I Always Wanted a Brother is now a top 10 song in America on the not on a traditional chart. That's the key here. It says here the tune rockets from number 10 to number 4 this week on the TikTok Billboard top
Okay,
50.
that means like even less. That doesn't mean shit.
I'm
That doesn't
just
mean
saying,
diddly dick. Yeah, the fucking brain rot social app that almost got banned. Yeah, let's trust them on fucking music standards. Okay.
I mean, on a technicality, but it's still there. The other thing about the Lion King, it is pushing the 700 million. I mean, the rate at which it's going now, it's going to be clearly more than profitable. The franchise this is technically the
Low
third
standards.
movie, theatrically released movie in the franchise, and for it to still make like over 15 million on its like 7th or 8th weekend in release, that's still, I think it's pretty good. It's like I said, it's been the number one movie for 5 weeks straight, and that's insane. I mean, domestic overseas over $600 million. To me, it's
That's
surprising.
true. Man of time.
For
There's a
all the hate
TikTok
that the movie
chart.
gets.
I mean, TikTok doesn't play the full song, only snippets. So it's like, yeah, like 10 seconds of the song is on the TikTok chart because that's all you could fucking play of the actual fucking song. And also, well, I mean, figure drawing. I know kids are going to see movies, but what I'm saying is like I don't know if you're like talking about like when my parents went to go see it, it was like during a school day and it was during work hours, so it's like damn, a lot of people are still going to see this movie on a
Like
weekday.
at that time of the week, yeah.
Yeah. So it was like at like, oh, let's go at like 3, and people were it was still sold out. So there's that. And I know that there's kids. Like kids are it's just like the thing that's just sad is like it's just the standards are so I feel like are just so much lower. And it's like, oh, it's for kids, so we shouldn't care. And it's like, that's really sad. Kids deserve good movies too. So, I know like, well, yeah, this guy still thinks Batman and Robin's the greatest fucking Batman movie of all
It's not the
time.
greatest, but it's so bad it's good. I enjoy
He
it. It's a
really
guilty
thinks it's
pleasure.
better than The Dark Knight, guys.
No, okay. Now you're just putting words in my mouth, because The Dark Knight is the greatest superhero movie of all time, a perfectly paced movie. Man of Time is like John loves to insult us overseas folks, but it's all.
Well,
jokes.
you're the
Love
ones
you
that are
too,
giving
man.
money to this damn thing.
He said
so,
it's all
like,
jokes. He said it's all jokes. It's all jokes. It's all good. It's all good. We got Monumental Comics in the chat. Hello. We don't see you in the chat very often. Hello to you. He just said hell no. I don't know what that was in reference to.
I don't know what you're talking about. Hell no.
I don't know.
Maybe to the headline.
Potentially.
You do deserve good films, John. All kids should be stimulated. Wow. I could go for Under the Belt, but I'm not going to. I'm going to take the high road. So thanks, Lenny, for your wonderful comment. We love and appreciate you so much.
Yeah. Caleb is like Superman Quest for Peace is obviously the GOAT. Yeah. And on that note, I think we should switch topics, shall we? Let's go on from one Disney thing to another Disney thing, because of course, this is something that you guys talked about briefly yesterday when Liz was on the show, and I know you guys mentioned it and you kind of like discussed the idea that yes, these movies are apparently Doctor Strange 3 and Shang-Chi 2 are now reportedly going into production in, was it 2027, I believe. They're officially in the works. And according to, I think, one of the scoopers in Hollywood, was it Daniel Rickman that said it? That I think, yeah, that it's supposed to go into production soon. The one thing that this article, though, pointed out, 2026 it should be, is that there is speculation now that potentially, while Sam Raimi could return to direct the third Doctor Strange movie, Destin Daniel Cretton, who directed the first Shang-Chi, he's set to direct Spider-Man 4. So because the Spider-Man 4 will still be in post-production around 2026, depending on when Shang-Chi goes into production, and obviously if he's shooting Spider-Man 4 this year, he can't really prep the next Shang-Chi movie. So there's speculation that he's not going to direct the next Shang-Chi movie, which to me would be just a big loss, because he was so good. Like the first movie was so good. That to me, Shang-Chi is the best movie from Phase 4 of Marvel. The best anything in Phase 4 of Marvel.
That's a low bar.
Outside of Miss Marvel. To me, Miss Marvel, WandaVision, and as far as movies go, Shang-Chi was the best one. But I mean, as long as he picks another director, maybe like if he's still a producer and he gets to bring in somebody else, or maybe Kevin Feige, you trust in Kevin Feige. I mean, John, are you looking forward to either of these movies, especially if, let's say, Sam Raimi comes back for the next Doctor Strange movie?
Like, because the thing is, unless like I've gotten full like 100% accuracy, dead on balls accurate, that it's a Sam Raimi movie, I'm not fucking seeing it, because you have one of the best, most like illustrious director made the best Spider-Man movie fucking effortlessly, and you're like, nah, let's put our bullshit into it. It's like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Like, as I said, when Doctor Strange 2 is being a Sam Raimi movie, it's fucking great. Like when fucking Undead Doctor Strange comes out, when he's doing like the Quick and the Dead fucking homage, when he's doing like the musical notes, like that shit's like pure unadulterated Sam Raimi, and it's wonderful. And then when you gotta grind the fucking movie to a halt to introduce the Illuminati, all of them die, they become spaghetti, and it's just like, what the fuck?
That movie jumped the shark.
What am I watching?
That movie jumped the shark so many times. Like to me, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, it made almost $1 billion though. It was like less than 50 million.
Though.
I mean, I'm just saying it still made a shit ton of money. By the way, we have another Caleb. We have Caleb Underwood in the chat, and we have Caleb Richardson. Caleb, I don't like Caleb Richardson. I don't think we have seen you in a while. Well, welcome on back in. Or at least I haven't seen you on a live stream. I haven't been on the last two, so you might have been in the chat, and I missed you. So welcome on back. Of course,
Caleb, I
TC24
agree.
saying
Let Sam Raimi be Sam Raimi.
yes.
Do it.
Yeah. I think, like you said, John, when it was a Sam Raimi movie, it was really good. When it turned into an MCU film, it struggled. I agree with you, Jose, though. I love Shang-Chi.
That was good. Like when she came out of the
Yes.
gong, that was fucking awesome.
Yes.
That was like, again, when it's like being like a Sam Raimi horror movie. So when he's got those Dutch angles going, when she's like crawling down the hallway going after him, like, okay, this is Sam Raimi. This is great. And then when it has to be a Marvel movie, it's like, this is terrible.
Yeah,
It's
and
like,
then
why?
Antonio, by the way, hello Antonio. He's saying, Destin, what's weird about his situation is, remember, he was going to direct one of the new Avengers movies, and then that went away, and then he was rumored to direct Spider-Man 4. Yes, I think he is directing Spider-Man 4, and I do remember he was meant to direct, I believe, the Kang Dynasty right? Like that was the yes, and now that's, of course, the Russo brothers have come in as Doomsday, so they changed track. That's the thing. I mean, clearly they love him. They want to do more stuff with Destin Daniel Cretton, but for Destin, it's interesting that he's jumped around 3 different movies, and because of the plan, he might not be able to direct the sequel to, quite frankly, like I said, probably the best MCU movie of the past 5 years. It's
well, I think it was like, I think what happened, there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that we don't know about. Like we get, like, even from the insiders, the alleged insiders, all this other shit, we get like drops, and what we don't know is an ocean. Like that's, like these teeny tiny drops, little dribbles here and there, but what we don't know is all the talk. So I'm thinking like Kang Dynasty, he was on for Kang Dynasty for a while, but once the Jonathan Majors stuff started to like get ahead, they were like, okay, Cretton, clearly Kang Dynasty is not happening. Clearly we're desperate, so we're going to get the Russo brothers back. Clearly we're even fucking more desperate to get RDJ as fucking Doctor Doom. So, okay, as sort of a penance, as sort of like a, you've been with us, you gave us Shang-Chi, made a lot of money, a lot of people seem to like it, despite Awkwafina being in it. Okay, here's an idea. We can't get, what was his name? The previous Spider-Man director, John Watts. He's like, he's off doing Wolves or whatever the fuck.
I was gonna say Mark Webb, but I think you were.
Mark Webb was amazing Spider-Man. He's like, okay,
I just love the way in the Honest trailers they're like Mark Webb. What is that? Like some kind of double entendre? Like this is, I love it. I love it.
So I feel like
he was born to direct.
They're
Spider-Man
like,
movies.
okay, we're not getting John Watts back because he's doing his own thing now. He doesn't want to deal with us anymore. So here you go. Have Spider-Man, and he's like, I got you. So he's gonna make Spider-Man. I have a strong feeling that they're gonna give him Shang-Chi 2 as well, but it's just gonna, I mean, here's the thing. Marvel gives no fucks about post-production, since like these guys have like 2 weeks to do it all anyway. So it's fine. He'll be directing like hip if it stands for hilariously intentionally parable. I don't know. But so they're like, okay, Cretton, here's Spider-Man 4. I have a strong feeling they're going to give him Spider-Man 4 and Shang-Chi 2, because there's no way they're going to, this is their golden child now. So, because he got a fucking Avengers movie after directing Shang-Chi, which got like maybe mixed to positive reaction. I don't know. But so they're like, okay, here, have this, have fun, but you're also going to get a Shang-Chi 2. He's like, okay, cool. And I same with Caleb Richardson saying, I hope Spider-Man 4, like the thing I'm fucking hoping for, I'm so fucking hoping for, is grounded Spider-Man. I don't want to see other Avengers. I don't want to see multiversal nonsense. I don't even want to see the fucking symbiote. We got Last Dance. Let's leave the symbiote behind us for at least a little bit. We'll get Spider-Man 4. Tom Holland will put a gun to the writer's head, be like, hey, actually write Spider-Man and not Iron Man Jr., you fuck, and just pull a Henry Cavill and just be like, you better fucking write this character right. And we'll hopefully get a good movie out of it. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, like I'm hoping is more of a, streetwise Spider-Man who deals with
your
a
friendly
threat that's not a
Spider-Man.
world-ending threat. Right, exactly. So I agree with you there, Caleb, as well. And in my introverted reviews with the whole like this sequels being so spaced out, yes, it's kind of like the Batman Part Two. We'll probably get all of these
We'll get
movies before the
Spider-Man
Batman
4
Part Two.
before Batman Part 2.
I think we definitely will. Isn't it scheduled for 2026?
Allegedly.
So allegedly, but we'll see. But yes, I do believe in my introverted reviews that Doctor Strange and Shang they will definitely, both of those characters will be in the next Avengers movies. There's no reason for them not to be. I think the big reason why Shang-Chi got moved around and then Doctor Strange got moved around, because initially the speculation is that initially both of these movies were going to tie in more directly into the multiverse saga, because with Shang-Chi, as if you saw the third Ant-Man movie, in the what would they call it, the quantum realm, like the design of like Kang's empire, like it's kind of ties into the design of like the 10 rings. So that's how he was going to connect into that. But obviously Kang has been written off, so they probably decided we're going to rework what Shang-Chi 2 is going to look like, which is why it's getting pushed back. It's just, to me, I hope we get to see Simu Liu in other movies leading up to the sequel, and probably the Avengers movies most likely, but maybe if he crosses over it as a cameo in the next Spider-Man movie, maybe he's the Marvel character, like Doctor Strange was in the previous Spider-Man movie, that is involved in the next adventure. It would work for me. I'm totally fine with that. But then Doctor Strange, I think, yes, when he followed with Clea, right, with Charlize Theron
Clea,
into
I
the
think that's her name.
multiverse. Obviously, I think they want to downplay that, and maybe because both of these movies now would come out at, I think, probably either around or after Secret Wars. So then you'll be in the mutant saga at that point. So I'm guessing they're changing up the stories to kind of tie into that saga now. But the other thing, by the way, this article points out is that Strange Academy has now reportedly, the TV show Strange Academy has reportedly now been greenlit at Marvel Studios, which would be basically like a School of Magic. So Benedict Wong's Sorcerer Supreme, Wong, it reportedly will take center stage, which to me, hey, that sounds like a fun show. He's training the new generation of sorcerers after the Scarlet Witch, devastating attack on Comic-Con.
We're still waiting on Mordo, who's like,
I know,
there's too many sorcerers, and we never got anything in regards to that.
You know what, though? This would be perfect for them to tie that back here, because if Mordo all of a sudden becomes the big bad of the show, I know it's kind of a downgrade. It feels like a downgrade, but I wouldn't mind that.
Because he should be. What we should have gotten for Doctor Strange 2 was Strange versus Mordo. Like, that's what it should have been. But no, they got to set up their multiverse crap. So it's like, all right.
By the way, Monumental Comics saying Shang-Chi needs to be a souped-up kung fu film that could really take it next level and bring in Power Man and Iron Fist. You know what? Iron Fist would be perfectly, set up to be introduced in the MCU proper through a Shang-Chi movie. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Even though Shang-Chi is technically on the West Coast and he's on the East Coast, I don't know how that would work. But maybe he comes over on the East Coast for a week or weekend. Maybe he meets Spider-Man and all the Defenders
Hugo
or something.
Millie.
Hello, Hugo Millie. There you go, John. I'll let you have your moment with the Hugo Millie.
Hey. Just a nice break from talking about all these terrible movies like Mufasa and Shang-Chi and Doctor Strange 2. None of that here. We're just chilling now. We're just chilling about nothing. Just gonna take a break, ladies and gents. Let's go. We're not censoring the beard stroking either. No. This is dulcet tones at SSR 18108. Let's go. We're giving you smooth jazz tunes.
That is so crazy. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is what you come into the late, to end your day with us, or depending on where you are, maybe you're starting your day with us.
Sean, why did you get in my ears? I'm now gonna dial a 1-800 number. Hello. All right. John ASMR wasn't on my 2025 Bingo card.
God,
Question:
who had that
Did
comment?
John
Yeah,
like
God.
Moana 1? I haven't seen it. I can't judge the movie. I'm sure maybe it's the greatest fucking movie ever. I'm actually wrong. Like, it made $1 billion for a reason.
Are you
Blah
showing your
blah
age there,
blah.
Lenny? Who
Yeah.
has a 1-800 number anymore?
You know, there's porn
Uh,
over right now, right? I know it's gonna get banned soon, but like, you know, I'm just saying. Anyway,
you know what? The first Moana was good. Like Hosea said, the first Moana was good.
Moana 1 was great. Like Moana 2,
It
I
had
don't know
like
anything.
3 songs that went super viral, were nominated for an Oscar.
Moana was great. I liked Moana 1. I haven't seen Moana 2. I thought Moana was great. Like I thought it was like the ending sequence is great. But it has been a while. It was like fucking 12 years ago at this point, 2013, and it's already getting a live action remake because we need to stroke The Rock's ego. So I thought it was good. I liked 1-800 Chris Terrio. No, ew, don't compare me to Chris Terrio. He wrote Rise of Skywalker. Get the fuck out of here.
No, that's the number that Lenny is gonna be dialing apparently, I think. Or at least Hosea thinks so.
Yeah, no, I did watch. I watched Moana 1 or just Moana.
Yeah, by the way,
good stuff,
Hugo
good
Millie's
animation.
comment. Yeah, they should continue to bring in new characters. I believe Fantastic Four just got added into Marvel Rivals, so that will be interesting. So, but yes, Moana, the first one was good. Obviously, they're trying to capitalize on the franchise moving forward. Yeah, the Academy, Wong's Strange Academy of Noah Sorcerers. Yes, that would be perfect. What was the name of that character? Like the chick that shows up and then Wong can't get rid of her. I'm like, we need to bring her back. Like she needs to.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Did you not watch the She-Hulk? Like somebody.
No, I didn't watch that.
Okay.
I didn't watch that shit. Are you fucking kidding me? No, ew, gross.
Somebody tell me in the chat in She-Hulk. Remember the Benedict Wong episode where like this other, I'm forgetting the name of the actress and the name of the character, but it's hilarious because she's like playing this like party girl who's sort of like really aloof, and I'm like, she needs to be in this show because it's like Wong has no idea how to like deal with this because it's so out of left field, but it's one of those things that I was like, strangely enough, and pardon the pun, it worked for me. So I'm like, I would love to see that dynamic again. But John, Antonio had a question for you earlier. Maddie Sin, that was her name, I think. I forgot her character name, but anyway, thank you for that, Hosea. But Antonio asking the question: you guys think the Mickey 17 they will move Mickey 17 to March 17 or March 7th because they saw or heard the rumors of the box office potential? I mean, yes, Captain America 4 is meant to be making almost $100 million on this opening weekend. But it's still nowhere close to like what a really great Marvel movie might do, like Deadpool, which did like 163 or something, or like it was 250 like worldwide. So do you think Mickey 17 will move its date to kind of like, because they're not so worried about the competition?
I know that I know it was originally supposed to come out this month. It was supposed to come out in January. I forget which day. And then it got changed to April, didn't it? And then, wait, Antonio, are you saying it already moved to March 7th because of this rumor? Or do you think it's going to get changed?
Didn't they move it because they reshuffled their schedule this year? I wanna look it up. I wanna see if that is still.
Yeah, I don't.
Because I know that Warner Brothers that's when we found out about the Batman 2. I think Mickey 17 also moved, so it is March 7th.
So it is March 7th.
It is
okay,
March 7th.
So yeah, legitly bad. Now that was something I did try. I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched one episode, and I'm like, this is garbage. So
I mean, it's scheduled to release a little bit earlier in Korea, like February 28th.
Right.
But yeah,
that makes sense because that's where Bong Joon-ho's from. So I think it'll be, I don't think it was because of that. It's entirely possible, but it's unlikely because like it's two entirely different movies. One's like a superhero Cold War thriller, and the other is like a sci-fi comedy, an over-the-top sci-fi like slapstick comedy almost. So I can't imagine why that would be a thing.
I mean, it did get delayed from last year into this year. I forget though if they moved it forward.
Yeah,
or
okay,
this
so
is the
March
date.
29th. Because it was originally supposed to come out in January, then it got delayed to March 29th, and then it got pushed.
To this year.
No, it got pushed to
No. March 29, 2024. So it
2024.
got,
Oh.
yes.
But I think, didn't it like.
I mean, but I
know
think
it got
because
delayed.
no. They're premiering it at the Berlin Film Festival, which is I think starting up soon. So then it's gonna, or was it? Wait, in November 2024, the movie's worldwide release date was pushed back to April 18, and then Companion took over its release date, and then a month later they moved it forward, and then they swapped it with the Sinners release date.
Okay.
So yes, it was
you're right.
April
Okay.
18th, and
So
now
it was supposed to come out in
March.
March 29th of last year. Then it got changed to January 31st. And then it got changed to April 18th. And now it's March 7th.
Yes. A lot of confusion, but totally get it. I don't think it's a good thing that they've moved this thing around 5 times. It's not a big franchise movie.
No, Michael K. I won't be quiet. You can suck this dick. How about that? Fuck you.
Hello, Michael.
And learn how to spell quiet correctly.
Nice. Let's be nice. Monumental Comics earlier, you were talking about Titania. No, not Titania. I was talking about. I think Maddie Sin was the actress, but Madison. But is that the name of the actor? Or no, that's the name of the character. I forget who plays her.
What are you talking about?
She-Hulk. We're having a She-Hulk conversation. But yes, Mickey 17.
Also, I'll talk about The Rock however the fuck I want to talk about The Rock. All right, The Rock's a fucking douchebag. He's an egotistical asshole who doesn't understand how like the rivalry between Captain Marvel and fucking Black Adam works. He can fucking suck my dick. Like,
and PC24, you're right. I don't think it's because of the Batman delay. What they did is they moved it forward, and then they switched it with the horror movie Sinners. So the Sinners is now coming out on April 18th, and then, Mickey 17 is coming out on March 7th. The April.
Patty Guggenheim is the actress. Maddie Sin is the character.
There we go. Thank you. I mean, it would be great because can you imagine if Caleb's suggestion? I would so love it if it all of a sudden was like a mockumentary, like The Office style, and Wong was the leader of like the boss, and then if he had a mug that says world's best sorcerer, and you just want to do yes, give me Strange Academy done as The Office. That would be the best thing that MCU would have produced in a long time. And thank you, Manos, for the shout out on Patty Guggenheim, and then yes, Madison was the character. I would love to see her. Can you imagine The Office?
So Michael K is
America
calling
Chavez could be there.
So Michael K is calling me a dosh bag now. I don't know what a dosh bag is. It sounds like it sounds like the Louis Vuitton version of a douchebag. That man's a dosh bag. Yeah, it's quiet.
But Caleb is like, what the hell does hella flawed mean? Anyway. It just means it's really flawed, I suppose. But let's keep going here. Let's keep going. I mean, yes, the MCU, I'm sure we're going to talk about again, at some point in the show. And there's a lot going on. I'm looking forward to Strange Academy.
Desperate.
Now. But this is the other piece of news that I saw today, which kind of made my blood boil a little bit because as somebody who pays for the highest tier of Netflix, I think I pay already it's $30 some odd because I also have an out of house person who uses it, so that's another $5 on top. So to me, I'm like, they're raising their prices again. At this point, it's the cost of like a skinny bundle on cable. When you get the basic bundle, but then they're like, why don't you get this add-on? And I remember back in the day, you'd be like, you look at HBO and you're like, do I want to spend $25 a month for that? It's now Netflix is like, do you want to spend $40 just to get our service? It's just ridiculous to me that and it's it feels like these price hikes are coming faster and faster, right? Because I think what's happening is they know that they're starting to hit their ceiling as far as subscriber growth. So they're like, where do we grow from here? So if they can't grow subscribers as fast as they want to, they're gonna start to do the price hikes, which
hike the price
now,
and then they're gonna lower even faster because nobody wants to fucking pay these prices for shitty fucking streaming services because Netflix just produces garbage now. It's yes, they produce great stuff like Dark and but they just don't produce that great of stuff anymore. So their original stuff sucks. the movies they have fucking suck. So like, what's the point? I can, go to Max. I can go to Peacock. I can go
Yes.
to Hulu. I can go to
No, but
fucking
still,
Disney Plus.
but they're not the
Like,
only
just
ones.
so much better shit. Like, people are gonna
Because-
like end in
Well,
droves. Like, get the fuck out of here.
I will say though, as far as the quantity of things that Netflix has, and yes, I mean in general quality, because I think the floor for quality on Netflix is really, really low, but they also have so much stuff that you don't need to check out the shit that you don't care about and still have plenty to watch. It's almost like I think Netflix's approach, what I realized a long time ago, Netflix wants to be like the only thing you have. Like they're like, okay, the people who love Netflix, that's all they have. They canceled cable and they got just Netflix. Like in Netflix's ideal world, none of the other streaming services exist, right? But that's how they treat their pricing model. And I get it, like for the amount of stuff you're getting from it, like Squid Game 2 just came out and did huge numbers all over the world. But still, like for me, like who is subscribed to like all the big streaming services, it just doesn't compute because I'm like, if I'm paying $18 for Max, I'm getting all of HBO. And I feel like the overall quality is way better. Like the worst thing on HBO is 10 times better than the worst thing on Netflix. And I think sometimes the choice paralysis hits me when I go on Netflix and I browse through and add 20 things to my watch list and then see 10 trailers and then eventually decide not to watch anything. I'm like, I just need Netflix to at least change their UI so that instead of throwing everything at the wall when you sign into the app, maybe customize it even more. Because I feel like that's what hurt. But the thing is, they want to show you like a million different things because they want to just keep you endlessly scrolling. But what happens to me is I endlessly scroll, then I just tune out. I don't actually watch anything. So but now this is also interesting here because Netflix did announce that while, they recently added 19 million subscribers in the fourth quarter of 2024, mostly because of Squid Game 2, which brings them, by the way, to more than 300 million globally, which is the highest of any streaming service by a good mile. They did announce that they're going to stop reporting, these subscriber numbers. Like they're not going to, like in their quarterly earnings, they're not going to announce subscriber growth numbers outside of when they cross big milestones. This has been something that they've regularly done for the longest time, and what usually ends up happening is the stock price fluctuates based on if the numbers are better than what was expected or worse than what was expected. Like for example, like they were expected
It's like a
to
fucking
make
erratic heart monitor.
yeah, but like they were expected to grow like half as much in terms of subscriber numbers, like 8 million or something, and they ended up getting 19 million. So everybody loved that. But there's also been quarters where their growth has been a lot lower. So then, they don't actually, do very well. And so I think what they're trying to do now is they're like, look, Netflix knows what's coming, and that's that their subscriber growth is going to plateau because there's only so many people in the world who can actually subscribe to Netflix and be paying subscribers because they've gone past the whole password sharing thing. They've done everything they can now. I mean, like 300 million is like way more than any other streaming service. I think Disney's the next one that's closest when you combine all of their different streaming services. But to me, John, it would be interesting to see now how often we get these updates because again, like people look at it as a mark of success, but I think Netflix is now starting to, as a result of this announcement, or this tells me they're starting to focus more on we want to make money, but that money that we're trying to make is not going to directly correlate with subscriber growth because they know that's not where everything is going to come from. It's the simpler formula of add more subscribers is not going to bring in more money anymore. They have to focus on other things like raising their prices or other add-ons or more advertising because even the ad tier is going up in price now.
Yeah. It just, I know Lenny was saying like, oh, it'll sell to a big studio. I don't know.
I don't
about
think
that.
so. I think they're gonna buy a big studio eventually. That's probably what's gonna happen.
Even though they're like fucking like 20 billion in debt at this point, probably more. So I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah. Hello, Morkatna. We got you in the chat. Well, hello to you. Thanks for joining us. Yes, Mano's saying that's without mentioning the password sharing thing, and since they're number one, the other streaming services love to copy them. Exactly. But I mean, to be fair, like I understand the password sharing thing because it is lost revenue and they want to make it back, whatever. I get it. But like, I pay the extra $5 for like my sister to use my Netflix. And she lives in her own place, so like I have to give her like her own login essentially. But yeah. Lenny's saying HBO are the only streamer that is consistent with high quality shows as they've been doing it for decades. Exactly. Netflix is good, but HBO is still better in terms of really good television. And then Mana's Time saying, keep in mind that not only do they raise the prices, they cancel shows quickly since they expect streaming numbers. They separate seasons in 2, maybe 3, and the quality of the products aren't always great. That is a big problem that I have with Netflix, because nowadays it's the problem is, back in the day, you would rely on advertising revenue and viewership for shows. Now what happens is Netflix will be like, oh, this show, like for example, Squid Game is done after 3 seasons. Like they will say, hey, 2-3 seasons, we've gotten as many people to join Netflix as a result of this show as possible. It's rare to see a show like Stranger Things that goes to 5 seasons, and even that is like
Yeah, like
taking, what,
Orange is the
5
New
years to-
Black. One of the their
Yeah.
OG shows went as far, like Stranger Things, House of Cards, Orange is the New Black. Those are the ones that like go, or they just cancel everything after a season because that's what it is now. Like I can't imagine like shows like from the 70s, 80s, 90s limited going past
exactly.
like if those shows were made for Netflix in this day and age, none of them would go past like 1, maybe 2 seasons, because that's what it is now. And I'm pretty sure I used this analogy before. Like, look at Star Trek: The Next Generation. Season 1 was fucking horrendously awful. Yet somehow that got renewed for a fucking season 2, and then we like started to climb, and then season 3, bam, hit its stride for the next like 4 seasons. Was like fucking some of the best Star Trek writing like ever fucking put on the small screen. So you have all that, but like if that was made for Netflix, no way would have gotten past season 1. And it's just like set, like 1899 is a big one that I remember a lot of people, they barely marketed the fucking thing. Nobody watched it. But the people that did said it was like, this is fucking amazing, just like what Dark was. And then they fucking canceled it because they're like, oh, looks like the thing we didn't market at all didn't make fucking money. It's like, yeah, no fucking shit. You didn't market it. That's the same thing happened with like Disney was like, well, we want to close our 2D animation studio. Let's not market Treasure Planet or Atlantis the Lost Empire. Oh, looks like those movies didn't do well. Looks like we got to shut it all down. It's like, yeah, oh, who was the villain? Maybe look in the mirror. It's like, you're the reason why you're failing. So what the fuck are you doing, man? What the fuck are you doing? Like, and then you have like Amazon Prime and Apple TV.
I mean, Lenny's saying she only has it mostly for the free shipping, which a lot of people do, but
yeah, I mean
that's
Prime,
going up now.
Prime I would say is the best one, because Prime you get so much stuff for, I mean, it's a big, heavy like price tag, but
even if you just get it by itself, like it's priced well.
It's priced well, but
I like Reacher and Alex
you get
Cross
like
are
the
good
free
shows.
shipping, you get this, you get that, you get Prime Music, you get Audible, you get this, you get that, you get like so much stuff with Prime, so the price is worth it. And that's the two big things. When you have something else, Netflix is just its own thing. It's just Netflix. Meanwhile, Apple TV Plus has, iPhones that, it doesn't matter how many of those movies or TV shows fail, because they have the most fucking popular smartphone brand that will ever exist for the next fucking however long humans are here for. That you have Disney, which they have the parks, like no matter how many Marvel movies suck donkey dick and fail, well, they got the parks, that's their income. Or you have Amazon Prime, which they have Prime, that's like a fucking $1 trillion industry at this point. So the best ones have something else to go off of. I mean, Max is kind of the same way, but it's just like WB has so many subsidiaries at this point that it's just like they have like a million other things, like they have the news and all that other shit, so they can get all that. But
one point I wanted to make quickly, which I think, well, not even me, I think it's something that Kayla pointed out. Like Netflix, they're not even trying to be just a normal streaming service anymore. They want to be your new cable package. That's like the entire thing, because because Warner Brothers started to license all of their stuff out last year, right? So like recently Barbie is now on Netflix as well. You have all these other things. So they're trying to give you literally almost anything you want. Now they have Monday Night Raw, they have other live, like they had the NFL games on Christmas Day. They're gonna have more live shows and probably they're gonna get into award shows in the future. They have games on there. I was like, oh, there's a GTA game I can stream on Netflix. I'm like, great. I'll do San Andreas. Like it was like the last GTA game that I really really loved, even though I had fun like GTA 4. But yeah, I mean, I think ultimately with that being the goal, you're just gonna continue to see they're diversifying now. It's like Apple, right? Like you're gonna have your Apple Music, you're gonna have Apple Fitness, you're gonna have Apple Arcade, like everything that they can possibly shove in your face. And in the process, what happens is, you know, Five Ash Art saying I wanted a sequel to Break Into Electric Boogaloo and it didn't happen, or like the Old Guard 2 went missing. I know you're joking, but like the Old Guard 2, where is that? Or Bright? Nobody's gonna. I think Lenny, you were being sarcastic, but I don't think we're getting a Bright 2 anytime soon.
Caleb, I just have resting bitch face. That's literally it. I just have not even resting bitch face, just resting fuck you face. That's just like I always like, I always look pissed. Like it was funny. I just saw Bryan Cranston, like it was an interview from a while ago where he's like, if I just have like no emotion, if I'm just like it's just my face, I'm just like I look like I want to fucking kill somebody, and so I was like, that's not the intention. That's just my face. You know, I've rested like every time I go downstairs, I'm just like walking and I'm just walking down. And I'm like, I'm going to grab some breakfast. And my mom's always like, why do you look so, are you angry? Like, why are you so angry? I'm like, this is just my face. I can't like control it. It's just like, that's just the resting face. That's just how it happens. I'm sorry. Like, and you know, smiling all the time hurts. So it's like, I gotta go like this. I gotta, be smiling all the time.
We appreciate it. I mean, look, by the way, Five-ish Art's talking about why City is better in terms of at least the style, like the art style. I mean, to me, those things, the games kind of blend together because I didn't judge them that closely. I just enjoyed playing San Andreas more because it had the local multiplayer mode. You can play like 2 players locally, so it's so rare now. Like I don't think any GTA game has before or since had a local multiplayer mode. So like, you know, you would find all the cheat codes, and then you just come up with like your game within a game and have fun. And like the person playing with you is sitting next to you versus like, you know, on the other side of the internet. So, but no, Vice City also had great, you know, stylings, and San Andreas was pretty good. I enjoyed San Andreas. So, but yeah, I mean, look, Netflix is diversifying and they're charging you for it. So I know a lot of us have different opinions on it, but let's see. Maybe Netflix's subscriber growth will crater because the prices are too high. They're gonna hit a ceiling eventually where the cost is so high that it's no longer worth it. And then when they start seeing a dip in subscribers, then they'll start to plateau their pricing. And hopefully, you know, we'll have, you know, the ability to then drive through our dollars, vote on which service we want to keep and which ones we don't want to keep around. But hey, we gotta keep
just
the ball
ride
rolling.
the high seas. Just do that.
John's opinions are his own. Do not reflect that of the channel. We do not recommend piracy. John's lawyers are talking to him about that right now. But in the meantime, while John talks to his legal team, we have to talk about quick hits because we do, as always, we're gonna have to get into the quick hits because there's more news that we have to get into. So let's do that, shall we? Let's get into the quick hits. Let me see where are the quick hits. Here we go. All right, so John, Sonic 4 now has set a March 2027 release date. We heard not too long ago that they've greenlit Sonic 4. The third Sonic movie has just become the highest grossing movie in the franchise. It's turned the franchise into $1 billion franchise, and now Sonic 4 is coming back to our movie theater screens before the Batman 2. What are your thoughts on this, John?
This is great. I'm so happy. They also released the logo, and the 4 looks kind of pink.
March 19, 2027, by the way. Yep. We have an exact date.
March 19th. Let's go. 5 days after Pi Day. I don't know. I was kind of thinking of anything. But yeah, it's great. Love Sonic. Love our blue boy. I want to see more. I want to see spin-off. I want to see all the things. I want to see more Keanu Reeves' Shadow, because that was like the best performance of his career. So let's fucking go.
He loves talking about it. I feel like everything he gets asked about now is Sonic related. I'm like, the man did John Wick, and there's a new John Wick movie coming out, or spin-off coming out this year. By the way, we have Mr. Carter in the chat. Hello, Mr. Carter. He said that San Andreas is the best GTA game of all time. We should get into that conversation sometime, because I think those GTA games, I have thoughts, and I'm sure you guys do too. Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of the best games Rockstar has ever made. I will agree with you on that. Hosea saying, wait, everyone was saying Sonic 3 was going to make $1 billion.
I think that was.
It was never going to make $1 billion. Come on. But still, it's making almost 500 million, which plenty good for me. It's like the John Wick movies, right? Like there's a certain ceiling. These aren't going to be $1 billion movies, but they do more than enough for them to keep making more of them. And considering that each one has made more than the last, I mean, John, like maybe the Sonic 4 does get us close to $1 billion.
Let's do it, guys.
March 19th, 2027, before the Batman Part 2 comes out.
I'm still just happy that the autistic Sonic fans beat the Disney adults. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. And my autistic friend said I can make that joke, so don't be mad at me.
Great. Perfect. Well, let's move on to the next story, shall we? So this one here is a special shout out for Fiona and for Lenny, because we have some news from across the pond. The Glasgow Film Festival has set the James McAvoy event, opening and closing movies from Scottish directors, which includes, the survival thriller Tornado from John McLean. I think that one stars. Is that the one? Yes, that one stars one of my picks for the next James Bond. That is Jack Lowden. Jack Lowden is in Slow Horses. He's playing the ambitious son of a criminal gang lord, right? So that's him right there. I just wanted to point this out, John. Any thoughts on this? Are you looking forward to it?
He is looking like he's sniffing her hair. Pulling a Joe Biden on that one. Goddamn.
It's also gonna knife throat. But Lenny's saying love James McAvoy.
I mean, I can't judge the guy on like that fact, but like, that's this is all pretty cool. Yeah.
Look, I enjoy with like my favorite Scottish actors playing James Bond. It's a tradition. Why not continue the tradition? Obviously, Daniel Craig was off the beaten path in that sense. But Jack Lowden, everybody, he's gonna be in one of the movies. Glasgow Film Festival. Glasgow, we should. It's not the biggest film festival, certainly. Like Berlin Film Festival is happening now. We're gonna have Toronto, Cannes, all those as the year goes on. Sundance is starting up soon. But I just wanted to point this out. Special shout out for Fiona and Lenny, who will probably want to go check that out. I may or may not be in the UK in that time frame, but anyway. Breaking Bad creator Vince Gilligan to receive Patty Chayefsky's Laurel Honor at this year's WGA Awards. I apologize if I butchered Patty's name, but John, what do you think about this? Getting a special recognition at the WGA Awards this year. Vince
Deserving.
Gilligan, one of the best working producers in Hollywood today.
After they completely and utterly fucked him over by not giving him any Emmys for Better Call Saul, which I'm still fucking that show still holds the records of most nominated show that didn't win a single award. That's terrible, because Better Call Saul, I would say, is arguably better than Breaking Bad. So I'm still fucking salty about that. This is somewhat of a nice compensation, but fuck you, Emmy Academy, whatever the fuck the Emmy institution is. Fuck them, because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They gave it to fucking Succession 1 trillion times, but fuck that show. Fuck that show. Better Call Saul is where it's at. So, but this is great. Love Vince Gilligan.
5 Eshard with his James Bond casting. I don't know who that is, by the way, but yes, Vince Gilligan deserves every bit of success that comes his way. He's done the work. Speaking of which, William Shatner has done the work, because William Shatner, that is, alongside Back to the Future, will both be recognized for their roles and contributions to the sci-fi fantasy genres at the Saturn Awards.
Interesting tag team, but
because obviously, one is getting the actor honor,
and one's getting the movie honor. Yeah.
Honor. So, of course, this is coming from the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films. The award show is going to take place. It's not really broadcast, but it's on February 2nd at Hilton Los Angeles Universal City Hotel. John, what do you think? William Shatner, Back to the Future? What are your thoughts on the contributions that those franchises, and of course the great William Shatner himself, have made to the science fiction fantasy genre?
Deserving. I mean, I know William Shatner's an asshole, but what he did with Star Trek, and what he did with that franchise. Get a life. It was awesome. Back to the Future is one of my favorite movies of all time, so that's definitely deserving. Yes, Captain James Tiberius Kirk.
I mean, I don't know, John. Can you give us a preview of his acceptance speech, maybe? The iconic James Kirk.
I just want to give a nice thank you to all the wonderful people here who gave me this achievement and this award. I can't, thank you enough. And there's something on the wing. Okay, that's all you get. Well, that would be impossible because William Shatner is American and he can't get a knighthood.
I don't think you get a knighthood, but there's like another thing that's like a step below that, technically, that you can get if you're not British. But yes, Jose is saying Better Call Saul was amazing. Five Ash Art has been rewatching Breaking Bad. Yeah, the motion picture and Wrath of Khan are a couple of my favorite movies. Yes, Five Ash Art, Star Trek the motion picture, and Wrath of Khan, I mean, one of the best Star Trek movies, period, if not the best. Yes. The motion picture, they did a whole re-release recently, right? They remastered it, redid the effects. I think it's a few years ago now, but it looked way better, more like what they intended originally. The first one definitely catches a lot of flack, but yeah, I mean, look, William Shatner, he's one of, if there was a Mount Rushmore of sci-fi, yes, William Shatner would be on there. There's something on the wing. It's like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would say Mary
That's
Shelley.
gonna be in our new show intro. That needs to go in there. Oh, I'm gonna hurt my neck doing
There's something on the wing.
Clearly, you've done this a lot more than I have.
Giant teddy bear on the wing.
Yes. Well, William Shatner, congratulations. Back to the Future, congratulations.
Gross.
And speaking
Turn
of
it off.
congratulations, Trevor Noah has decided to return to host the 2025 Grammy
Gross.
Awards.
Mop it up.
All right then. Okay. I enjoyed Trevor Noah's brand of comedy.
I don't.
At least.
Anyway.
Timothy Chalamet's Bob Dylan film, A Complete Unknown, has topped the UK and Ireland box office. John, thoughts? Lenny, thoughts? Since you were in the UK.
Never saw it. I like Timothy, so he's cool. I like the UK for the most part. They're cool. I haven't seen the movie. Oh, yes.
I guess.
And he lives in North America.
Qualifies?
He lives in North America, so he's technically American. Shut up. Anyway, I'm just kidding. But yes, you're correct. He's Canadian, but he's technically in North America, so I'm not totally wrong.
But maybe if he's Canadian, because that's part of the Commonwealth, maybe he does qualify to be knighted. Right?
I don't think because a Canadian has.
I don't know if the rules are.
I think it's just like born and bred in like UK, like that specific.
But yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Apparently, Ron's saying that Timothy Chalamet wants to be Nightwing. Does he? Was that a thing?
No, I can't imagine that. No. I can't imagine he wants to be. Plus, he's too old now. Nope.
Lenny's saying you're wrong, John, by the way.
Plus, a Nightwing, I don't want to see him as a twink. Like, I don't want that. Like, I want him to be like muscular. He's supposed to have a nice butt. Like, he's supposed to be big, broad. That's what
I think a lot of ladies would
disagree
disagree with you on that take, by the way. Just saying.
I can't imagine Timothy Chalamet being Nightwing. Maybe like Tim Drake, but again, that's still too old. So like, maybe he could be a good Aqua lad like Garth. I know everything. I'm in the Mobius chair. I know.
Yeah, Caleb was suggesting earlier a Wong versus Morbius movie. I would watch that.
I would
watch that. Yes. Yeah, a Complete Unknown will get many Oscar nominations. But Timothy doesn't have the body type for Nightwing.
Like I'm just saying, like Caleb, like if you got a nice dump truck, I will comment on it. Like like don't do the double stand. Like just objectify everybody. Quote me on that. Add it to the list.
Where's that comment about Josh Allen? Where was that one go? Has that disappeared into the ether?
No, I saved it in another folder.
Oh yeah, okay. I need to find this because like you said, what was it? Was John? There you go. John 11:14. I'm not gonna say the rest, but yes. See, John is all about that life, man. And that too. There we go. That's why we are here late at night or in the morning, depending on where you are. Canada has the Order of Canada, or Duo du Canada, says Elite Easy. So William Shatner could get a sort of a knighthood. Does that qualify? Maybe it does. I have a shot every time Lenny says you're wrong, John. You'd be effed. Yes, Jose. It would be a long night. It would be if you had $1. Okay, Lenny's saying Dame Kiri Tikanawa is from New Zealand, John. She has a damehood. There are many citizens she has that have an award from the palace. John, you pissed.
Okay,
you
Five
pissed
Ash,
me
what
off.
are you doing? Why are you mentioning blue waffles? Nobody wants us to think about that at all, ever again. Please, no.
Well, I mean, with that, I think that brings us to the end of today's quick hits. So we're gonna wrap that up there. John, if you wanna tune out that music for us. We're gonna get back at it tomorrow with more quick hits, but I mean that was fun. That was fun, you know. Let us know in the chat if you like the news and the quick
Five
hits.
Ash,
We're
I'm
not
gonna
done
fucking
yet,
ban you for that
but,
fucking comment.